Alongside a witch.
Crush these murderers,
Your Majesty.
Every family must contribute one man to fight.
You're a war hero. You've already made many great sacrifices.
My father cannot fight, so I will take his place.
Mulan was so beautiful to watch, just everything, the graphics, the styling. So Yifei, I would love to know, first off, what did it feel like first for you when you stepped onto the set and you were in your costume?
Yeah, I remember that's the matchmaker scene. And I remember when they called for lunch break and they're shooting other sides, opposite sides. I always tend to stay in my movie home because the set was just so incredibly beautiful. And it just gives me this feeling that will help me get into the character, I feel. Every details I see just makes me feel that I really live in that time, in that house.
Niki, I'd love to know too, what did you first think when you saw her, stepping onto the set as you're...
Oh, it was such a long time coming because we prepped this movie for so long. It's so much. People don't understand how much work goes in before you start rolling cameras. So when that day comes, it's like everything pulls into focus, and there she is, and it was a wonderful moment.
And it's so fitting, actually, that you said the matchmaker scene was first, because I think seeing Mulan now as an adult, it resonated a little bit differently with me. As a child, I'm like, oh, she's awesome, she's a warrior, but now I see how it weighed so much heavily on family values and how marriage is weighed so much, especially as a woman. Even now, across different cultures, it almost seems like marriage is like the marker of success. And I would love to know what you hope Mulan, what kind of message it sends to the older female viewers.
I think, and maybe this is true in your particular case, it feels to me like this version of Mulan is a coming of age. For all the people that loved the animation as children, we now give you guys and everybody this new version that's a little bit more complex. Mm-hmm. It's certainly bigger and more explosive in its action, but I hope that it still has the heart and the humor from the animation, and that along with its kick-ass action sequences, it has real emotion.
Yeah, and Yifei, same for you. Do you have?
For me, it's you can create your own reality. There for you to choose who you want to become. There is no limit.
Yes, I love that. And there's so many also different themes throughout the entire film. Which ones resonated with both of you most?
There's two for me, and I think probably for both of us, right? I mean, devotion to family, which is like the strongest thing, right, for Chinese people, I think, filial piety. But also so strong for me because I have a family and I am devoted to them. But equally, the idea of truth, of being yourself, and that when you are your authentic self, when you are not in disguise, that's when you can tap into all of your power. And when you do, you can be like Mulan, unstoppable and all-powerful.
Devotion to family, right?
Yeah.
That's it. Yeah, I remember it was on the sword.
Mm.
I think really movies dig deeper on that level, like what is actually devotion to family? It's not one thing, I think. It's actually unconditional love. Unconditional love means you, individually, you can be you, but the love is just so big, and yeah, it's everything.
So you have to let me geek out for just a little bit. You remember that epic fight scene you had in Star Wars Rogue One? You know, you were blind, and I mean, it was one of the most amazing scenes in the film. And I remember in an interview you said, you know, the Force is felt with your heart, so being able to see didn't really matter.
Yeah.
So I would love to know in Mulan, what really touched your heart?
A combination of all things. To begin with, the cartoon, it was watched by my family, my daughter, especially since she was a baby. She's 16, actually she's sitting over there. And I watched it with her, sang all the songs, so I know inside out. Secondly, Mulan is a Chinese folk story, and this movie brings Chinese history and philosophy and the beauty of Chinese culture in the most positive light. So for me, it is as an actor, but also as a Chinese background.
Yeah.
I feel very proud to be able to represent.
Yeah, I love that. And you know, you touched on your daughter seeing it, how you've seen it for so long. What message do you hope, you know, a younger generation of girls takes away from Mulan?
You can be anyone you want to, but with hard work, of course. You can be the most talented person, but without hard work, you're not gonna really take it to the next level. I think with this, of course, the metaphor of this movie, true, loyal, and brave is also come alongside, just as important.
Yeah, definitely. And I think it's also important to consider the whole family in Mulan. You know, so important, dedication to family, family values. Especially considering the matchmaker and how she would bring honor to her family. What do you think or hope fathers and mothers can also take away from this film?
I haven't seen the film. I'm excited for tomorrow premiere.
Oh, you haven't seen it?
Yeah, because she's spoiling the plot. I'm expecting to.
Well, you know the story already.
Yeah, I know the story. I know the story. Family to me is the key. It's the most important, and so.
Yeah.
Enough said.
On that note, you do know that your character is a bit of a departure from the original, being the commander. Why do you think it was important that Niki kind of changed some elements of the film?
That's cartoon. This is another approach. I think every filmmaker should have a sight, a vision, and their own story to tell. And Niki, from day one, she's really set on her takes on telling the story. And it proves so far of all the interviews today that she has done a tremendous, wonderful job.
Yeah, it's a beautiful film. I mean, you were cool, you were so dynamic. I love that we got that little bit of you, doing your fight scenes. So thank you so much for your time today, and I can't wait for you to see it.
Hua-Jun, Commander, son of Hua Zhou.
You will now take the oath of the warrior.
Loyal.
Brave. True.
Now, like I just said, I'm so excited to speak with you. You're such a legend.
Thank you.
And now you're in Disney's Mulan, you're taking on the Emperor. What resonated most with you about this film? There are so many themes.
Yeah, in this film, I play the Emperor, my character. It's not like usual. I have a lot of fans, fight, This time I just sit there to,
You got a little in.
a little.
I was glad to see. I was wondering.
yeah. But I love the film because it shows Chinese culture very well. Because in China have long history, 5,000 years, so you really difficult to put all the idea in the films. But this film I love the most because they have a few words. It's very important, short, understanding, easier, and loyalty,
Yes.
and devotion. That's in Chinese people's mind and blood. Everybody knows, but the director put a true. I think that's a little bit Western thinking, but it's very important. True, be yourself.
Yes.
Every woman, every girl, you're individual, you're unique. Believe yourself, be brave. So I hope after watch the movie, they can understand the meaning about this Mulan. Mulan, not just the fighting, not just the costume, of course, beautiful, but the meaning is very important to 21st century.
Yeah.
Everybody, especially girls, you need to be yourself, true, brave. Then,
Definitely.
yeah,
Definitely.
the world will be, future more important woman to lead this, the human society.
Yes, and I would also love to know what you think the film says to fathers, because it leans also a lot on family values.
Yes.
And how at first she thought, I have to get, married, have to see the matchmaker, but she takes on this new role. So what do you think fathers can also, take away from this film in Mulan?
Oh yeah, I always believe, the world need to be balanced. We see a lot of action movies, usually tough men, heroes is men. World should have their position. And like my family, I have 4 daughters. I always say I respect whatever they do from true their heart. Because the life in the future is theirs. So believe in yourself, you do your independent, and do your best. They love Mulan. In the beginning, I turned down. I don't want to make it the movie.
Why?
Because we grew up with Mulan. Everybody know the old story. Even why I watch it. In the beginning, I already know the end. Each generation know the story, but how to make them fresh. Then my younger daughter, 15 years old, she said, "Can you make the movie for me?" And I said, "Wow, do it." So I'm the father. I need to do it.
What would you pinpoint as being fresh in this film? What do you think, Niki did that made it new for your younger daughter?
Just the 4 words. The whole culture have a lot of meanings, but how to simplify to the world, everybody understanding the culture. 4 words. You need the loyalty to your country or to your culture, and you need the devotion to your family. You need of course brave to your future, to your life. Of course true. You don't live in your father's mother's shadow. You need to be you.
Yes.
You need this. It's your life.
Totally.
That's I love the story.
Yes, I loved it too. And I got to throw out one more question for you, because I love film. And, you were also really impactful in the Black community when you were in Romeo and Stag with Aaliyah in 2000. It's 20 years old now. And, you're an Asian lead. She was a Black lead. At that time, did you know how impactful it was to have you guys both on screen? Because it wasn't usual.
I didn't realize, but I know a lot of people from African, American African, and people love me, action, I'm so glad I have a chance to work with Aaliyah. I always remember she's charming, beautiful, and it's great experiences in my life. Thank you for all the African people, African American, they support me.
Yeah.
I love them.
Yeah.
Always.
We love you too.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for your time. Thank you guys.
I think when they introduced the character of Boracon to me, I looked him up. I said, okay, I wonder if this is a real guy. And actually, it was. There's reference to him in a lot of the history of the Roran, the Mongolian hordes and stuff, and the tribes. And I thought, well, how fantastic if you take it into a realistic approach, that, you know, a historical figure. So I took it in that landscape, and I thought, well, it would be fantastic if I get it. Because she's a Kiwi and she's from Aotearoa, New Zealand. She had a heavy influence from the Maori warriors, and so I think she was thinking back to how she could bring that type of chi, or that type of mana, as we say in the Pacific Islands, to the character. And I think she was really engaged, and she set me up with a kapahaka master who trains in Maori martial arts, and sent me to him for a weekend. And so I spent a weekend down in Rotorua, training with him and getting to know, some of the Maori warrior ways, and the mindset that they had for before they went into battle. And a lot of times they battled to the death, so it brought into a very real place. And I think that was very impacting, to get into the psychology and the mindset that she's looking for. Boracon is a bit of a vigilante freedom fighter who is trying to regain his culture and his land back, and also avenge his father's death. So there's a lot of effort for him to get the tribal elders from the other tribes together so that they can unify. The tone of this movie is really, I think, the courage and the compassion that the Mulan character has, and that she makes a decision which sets her out on this adventure that could end up poorly or could end up, heroically, and it depends. But I think that the drama lies in her encounters and her stumbles and things with that. And I think the end, it's very uplifting, and I think she becomes sort of this aspiration. And I think that's a good place to finish, with an odyssey like that.
Close the gates! 6 of our northern cities have fallen in a coordinated attack. Their leader fights alongside a witch. When we take the Imperial City, I will take revenge for my father. What is your name, soldier?
Hua Jun, Commander, son of Hua Zhou.
You will now take the oath of the warrior.
Mulan's about a young girl, disguising herself as a young soldier in order to protect her father, her family, as well as the whole of China. And when she finally becomes true and reveals who she really is, she becomes the best warrior in all of China. Hong Hui and Mulan start off on the wrong foot in the conscription camp, but throughout the journey of their training, Hong Hui kind of sees something in Mulan that other boys they don't have it. It's that inner leadership quality and the perseverance and how composed she is, really. So he sees something in her that he goes, yeah, there's something special about this young dude. And it was really cool being a part of like basically all Asian cast, and there's that immediate chemistry within all of us. Go, hey, I know your background, you know my background, I know how you grew up, pretty much the same way, you know, Asian parents and whatnot. So there was just instant connection. We didn't have to even ask or say, it's like, let's go get some Asian food. We all love Asian food. We bonded a lot over food and just hang out and stuff like that. And between me and the boys, like June, Jimmy, Dua, Chen, and Vincent, there's a lot of, you know, instant bonding, there's brotherly bickering, but at the end of the day, we love each other, you know, brothers. Niki is a legend. When I found out I was working with her, it was like, oh my God, I'm working with Niki Caro. And being with her on set, she knows exactly what she wants. You know, her vision is so precise. It just makes me feel very confident as an actor to know that I'm on a set, and I trust this director so much because she knows what she wants.
This character has always been something very important to the Asian American, you know, community, because of several authors that really explore, you know, who this person was, this woman warrior, you know, and Maxine Hong Kingston was one of those people who wrote the book The Woman Warrior, and David Henry Hwang, you know, who's written plays about the woman warrior, and you're talking about it became something that's within our psyche, within our consciousness, you know? And in order for, because of its prominence, we feel that it's important to tell the story properly. And I think we here have that opportunity to do so. Niki is so generous, you know. She's not one of those people who will sit there and go, okay, I'm gonna dictate what this character should be. Everything she does is from a discussion. And she's very clever that way. She's very inclusive. She makes you feel that, you know, that you are part of this creative process. And we explore different ways of presenting a particular scene. There's no right or wrong about presenting a particular scene. So we explore those possibilities. And what develops is that she gives you a safe environment for you to take some chances. Yifei fits this role to a T. She is Mulan. She has this kind of spirit, this kind of, she is special. You know, you can't, it's not just about God-given talent, and that's definitely there. It's really about her focus, her generosity. She's always present.
Now take the oath of the warrior.
Loyal.
Brave. True. Release!
You will die pretending to be something you're not.
Yet here I stand, proof that there is a place for people like us.
A girl threatens our plans.
A warrior.
Camera, action!
Subscribe for more awesome movie trailers.